Welcome back to the lesson. In our previous video, we've discussed about assignment operators in Python, and in this video, we're going to be discussing about comparison operators. Comparison operators are used to compare two values, such as comparing to see if two values are equals to each other, not equals to each other, one value is greater than the other, or less than the other, one value is greater than or equals to the other, or less than or equals to the other. So let's actually go ahead and put this into practice to compare between two numbers. As you can see, we already have two variables right here, x and y, which are already assigned values 20 and 10 respectively. So now let's go ahead and compare to see whether x is equals to y. Now let's come down below here and say print x is equal to y, like so. So in our previous video, we used single equal sign to assign value to a variable. A single equal sign in Python is actually an assignment operator, and a double equal sign such as this one, it's basically the real equal sign which is used to compare whether two things or two values are equal. We cannot use the single equal sign right here. We are simply assigning y to x. This is an assignment operation, but with double equal sign, we are comparing. This is a comparison operator. We're comparing between x and y. So I hope this concept is clear to you. So the result of any comparison in Python is a Boolean value, meaning it is going to return either true or false. If x is equals to y, we're going to get true. So in this case, x is not equals to y. 20 is not equals to 10. So our answer or our result when we run this program will be false. Let's actually go ahead and run the program and see for ourselves. Now if you run, you're going to see we get false because x is not equals to y. 20 is not equals to 10. Now if you go ahead and change the value of y to 20, now the condition is true. X is of course equals to y. 20 is equals to 20. Now if you run our program, we're going to get true. So I hope this concept is crystally clear for you. The comparison operators are used to compare between two values, and the result of a comparison operation is a Boolean value that is either true or false. Now let's go ahead and take back our y to 10, and now let's go ahead and now check for not equals to. So to use the not equals to comparison operator, all we need to do is replace our one equal sign with exclamation mark, like so, and then here we are saying x is not equals to y, which in this case is true because 20 is of course not equals to 10. And now our program will print, yes, you guessed it right, true, because x is of course not equals to y. 20 is not equals to 10. So let's go ahead and run our program. As you can see, we get true back because x is not equals to y. Now if you change the value of x to 20 back, like so, this condition will not satisfy now. We will get false because x is equals to y, and we are checking for not equals to, so we are saying x is not equals to y, and x is obviously equals to y now that we changed the value of y, so we're gonna get false. As you can see, false. So this is actually the idea behind comparison operators. It always returns a Boolean value if a condition is true, if a statement is true. Now let's go ahead and move to the greater than sign. So let's come over here and said we wanted to print x is greater than y. So as you can see over here, x is 20, y is 20. So this statement is not true. X is not greater, 20 is not greater than 20. So we're going to get false back. But if we go ahead and change the value of y to 10, and now we will get true because 20 is of course greater than 10. X is greater than y. This statement is true. As you can see, true. Now let's go ahead and use the less than operator. Now if you come over here and change the value, we said x is less than y, meaning 20 is less than 10, which is false. So we're going to get false because the statement is false. 20 is of course not less than 10. And now for the greater than or equals to, let's go ahead and use that. Let's say greater than or equals to, x is greater than or equals to y, meaning one of this condition must satisfy. If one of the condition satisfy, then we're going to get true. If none of the conditions satisfy, we're going to get false, meaning x must either be greater than y or equals to y. So in this case, x is of course greater than y. 20 is greater than 10, but it's not equals to y. 20 is not equals to 10. But because of one condition is satisfied, we're going to get true. So let's go ahead and now run our program. As you can see, we get true because one of the criteria is satisfied. X is of course greater than y. Now to the last but not least, which is less than or equals to. Let's come over here and say x is less than or equals to y. So let's go ahead and analyze this case to see, is x less than y? Is 20 less than 10? No. Is 20 equals to 10? No. So in this case, none of these conditions satisfy. X is of course not less than y and is not equals to y. So we're going to get false because the statement is false. So let's go ahead and now run our program. As you can see, we get false. So friend, these are basically the comparison operators in Python. We're going to be using them quite a lot later in our subsequent lessons, most specifically when we start discussing about conditional statements in Python. So I hope everything is clear to you and that you enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you in the next one.